Everyone in Argentina is talking about the presidential race, but it's not the one that you might be thinking of. The presidential race of Boca Jrs has taken center stage in Argentina, igniting widespread discussions among football enthusiasts and the public alike. Since football clubs in Argentina are publicly owned, which means that fans have a direct say in the management and decision-making process of the club, it is not the presidential race that is causing the buzz, but the vice presidential race between two notable candidates, Macri and Riquelme. It is important to understand that Boca Jrs election has become a microcosm of the larger debates in Argentina. It has become a symbolic representation of the ongoing ideological battle in the country, one that centers around the role of public goods, the meaning of democracy, and the potential effects of privatization to the country's social fabric and heritage. History shows us that football has been a source of identity, unity, and pride for the Argentinian people, and Boca Jrs is one of its most prestigious institutions. The incumbent and current VP is Juan Riquelme, who is regarded as the single most iconic player in Boca Jrs history, having won numerous accolades during Boca's most successful period, including 4 Copa Libertadores and 2 Intercontinental Cups against Madrid's Galacticos and AC Milan. He has focused on his connection with the fans and players, stressing the importance of a club president who understands and respects the club's values and traditions. He is opposed to future plans to move La Bombonera a few blocks away, preferring to expand the stadium in its current location. He prefers dialogue with neighbors who refuse to sell their homes in an attempt to convince them. He believes leaving their current stadium is the equivalent to ripping out the club's heart and is akin to losing their history. Many see his current tenure as a failure, as they've struggled to compete with rivals River Plate, who have won 2 Copa Libertadores in the previous 8 years, while Boca haven't won it since 2007. Mauricio Macri is a former Boca Jrs president during their most successful years, from 1995 to 2007. He was also president of Argentina from 2015 to 2019. During his tenure, he transformed the club into a powerhouse, winning 17 titles and expanding its global brand. Many fans are looking to him to restore the team to its former glory, while implementing conservative financial measures to improve the treasury of the club and helping fund the club's move a few blocks away into a world-class stadium. This ambitious plan looks to move the stadium a few blocks away and double the capacity to over 100,000 spectators, and building a modern-day stadium fit for one of the biggest clubs in the world at a cost of $800 million. Designed to enhance the fan experience, the new Bombonera promises to be a beacon of innovation and passion. He also plans to bring back club legend Martin Palermo as the head coach, who is known to not get along with his former teammate Riquelme. Riquelme had a well-known falling out with his Boca teammate Martin Palermo. The two players had a strained relationship for many years, maintaining they weren't friends, but had a professional relationship. Despite their differences, Riquelme and Palermo were able to coexist on the field for many years, forming one of the greatest duos in Argentine football history. Riquelme often mentioned that Palermo scored many goals, but didn't do enough to facilitate team play. The relationship between the two eventually devolved to the point where they were barely speaking to one another while the club was dominant on the field. During Macri's presidency, Riquelme and the club experienced a public falling out. Riquelme criticized Macri's transfer policy, resulting in key player departures like Carlos Tevez and Guillermo Barros Schelotto. Their discord extended to differences in playing style, with Riquelme advocating for possession and Macri favoring a more direct approach. The biggest flare-up occurred over a disagreement of bonuses to be paid. After Riquelme scored a goal in a 3-0 win against River Plate, he ran to center field and put his 2 hands behind his ears and gave a pointed 14-second stare to Macri in the presidential box while Macri was celebrating the goal. The relationship between the leadership and the player was clearly broken. This celebration has become iconic and was even replicated by Messi at the most recent World Cup, 21 years later. It is still used a symbol by Boca fans to show their displeasure with the board of directors. Riquelme claims that Macri wants to privatize Boca Jrs and take it out of the hands of the fans, eliminating the possibility of future elections. And what's worse, he's not exactly being transparent about his intentions. The fans currently have a direct say in who runs it, but if it's privatized, that won't be an option anymore. The fans and supporters of Boca Jrs fear that privatization would erode the club's identity. They argue that the club belongs to the fans and community, not to any one individual, corporation, or government. Moreover, they believe that privatization would lead to a loss of democratic processes and elections of club executives, perpetuating the status quo and the elite's control over the club. Those in favor of privatizing Boca Jrs argue that it is all about making the club more efficient. This echoes the sentiments of current President-elect Javier Milei that has mentioned that the football clubs should privatize. The main argument for privatization is the financial gains that could be achieved through sponsorships and other commercial deals. Macri has claimed that Qatar Airways offered to double their previous sponsorship deal if they could take star striker Ali Al-Moez, but the club's vice president, Riquelme, refused to even entertain their offer. As a result, Boca Jrs lost a lucrative sponsor. Some supporters see it as a stand against corporate greed and external influence on the club's values and traditions. But for the fans, it's about something much more important: history. Boca Jrs is not just a football club, it's a symbol of Argentinian culture and identity. They fear that if the club is privatized, they will lose all of their history and identity. In short, the battle for the vice presidency of Boca Jrs is about far more than just football. It's about the future of one of Argentina's most iconic institutions and the rights of its fans. And for many, it's a battle that they are not willing to lose. One thing is for sure: this election will have a significant impact on Boca Jrs' future and the football world as a whole. So, who would you vote for? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and consider subscribing for more content.